Hi, and welcome along to AFTV News Daily, the evening edition. Hope you guys are having yourself a great day. It's been a beautiful day, nice sun shining, not super warm, but a lovely day today. And we are here this evening, as we are every evening, to discuss Arsenal. And to discuss Arsenal with me today, in our big debate, I've got a couple of big gooners. First of all, we got Curtis. How you doing, Curtis?
Big up, my bro. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. And I've got also Yardman. How you doing, Yardman?
Me there. Back again. Good.
How's things?
Everything is okay. I don't know. Corona just put everybody on a standstill. So we have to just respect Corona.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Somebody's got a bit of an echo going on there. I don't know who it is. Somebody's got a bit of an echo.
It's you.
Yeah, it's not me. It's not me. To find out, Curtis, can you mute your mic 1 sec?
Yeah.
It's our live. 1 2 1 2. You know, it's Curtis. It's you, Curtis. So if you can just turn down whatever you've got there, you're just turn down whatever you've turned up.
Yeah.
You turned it down?
Not bad. Yeah.
All right, so guys, listen, it's great to have you both on board. We're going to discuss a lot of Arsenal talk here today. Still a bit loud. Curtis. Turn whatever you've got turned on, you've got to turn it right off.
Go on, there you go. Turn it right down.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's better. So yeah, guys, what I wanted to discuss today, I'm going to jump straight into it. I don't know if you guys have seen today that Mikel Arteta done an interview today with Ian Wright, and some great things that he said. But this is the really interesting thing that he said in this interview, and I'm gonna read it out to you now. We still got you, Curtis. You got to turn that right down, mate.
Even more, yeah?
Whatever you got turned up, just turn it off. Yeah,
that's the lowest.
Yeah, you just turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's feeding back. You good now?
Yeah. Is that all right?
You have to turn it right off.
Turn it right off.
Whatever the volume you've got on, you have to just turn it right off. Yeah?
How's that?
That's better. That's the one. There you go. Right, now, everybody get in the comments and cuss off Curtis.
Yo, man, technology.
Right, here is the comments from Mikel Arteta, right? So this is what he said today. He said Ian Wright was interviewing him and talking to him about, Arsenal in general. And he said, these are his quotes. He said, the moment we mention Arsenal, Ian, you know what it means around the world. Everybody wants to come here and we have a really clear idea of what we are. It doesn't need much convincing. If they do, for me, it's not a good starting point. If you have to convince a player to stay or to join us to Arsenal, it holds me back a little. It has to be, what do I have to do? I want to play for the club. That's the kind of emotion that I want to hear at this time. And the same with the players that are here. So basically what he's saying is, in a nutshell, Arsenal are a massive club. When players see Arsenal, they want to come to Arsenal. And any player who's at Arsenal should want to stay at Arsenal. Which sounds brilliant. That's great. That's what we want to hear from our manager. We know he loves Arsenal through and through. Do you guys agree with that? Let's get you first, Kurt, seeing as your stream's so loud.
Do you know what? In the footballing world, that kind of emotional attitude, as much as I love that from our manager, I think he needs to be realistic as well. Get with the times. We are a massive club, but a modern day player, he doesn't really care about what Arsenal were doing 20 years ago and the trophies they're winning. They want to know, what are you going to win now? What are you paying me? What can I win? How good is your team? And I think Arteta needs to realise that, because that kind of attitude is the attitude that lost us Van Persie, that lost us Alexis Sanchez, and could potentially lose us Aubameyang. So, yeah, I love the attitude. I want the player to want to play for the club, but also be realistic. We're Arsenal, and we're not the team that we were 15 years ago. So I'm not totally with what he's saying.
What about you, Yardman? I mean, it's good that, you know, the manager's puffing out his chest, as we'd say, and saying, yo, you know, I mean, we're Arsenal, man. And if you should want to come here. This is a big club, which we are. And you should want to come here. And the rest of you, man, there that are at the club, you should want to stay here as well. This is a big club. Stay here, make a name.
You see, I don't know if you can see this, Rabbit. Let's see if I can see. You can see what I got in my hand.
What's that?
A needle. I need this to burst Mikel Arteta bubble that I'm living to. Because Mikel Arteta believed that this was 2004.
Talk up there. You're a bit low. Talk up a bit louder.
Mikel believed that this is 2004, 2003, and 2002 season. Arsenal, that's what Mikel Arteta believed. Because at the moment, Arsenal is not a Barcelona, a Real Madrid. Those are the team, a Bayern Munich, a PSG, and a Juventus. Those are the team that players would have do anything to play for, especially the two La Liga team, Barcelona, Real Madrid. And sometimes back in the days, about 5, 6 since Fergie left, not such Man U, but back in the days, Man U, the Barcelona, the Real Madrid, those are the team that player jump. Those are the team when you hear speculation that a player linked with those teams, it does put everybody in a mood where like everybody moving mad because it's Barcelona come calling. Arsenal is not at that level since 2004. We nowhere near that. Do you know how much it hurt me when I hear when I listen and listen to the player, the ex-player them come on and they're stating that Tottenham is a bigger club and a better club than Arsenal. Not a bigger, a better club, footballing club than Arsenal right now. That's the way. That's how far down the pecking order we are. Do anybody? Can you, Robbie? Can you ask anybody if Arsenal can finish in the Europa League position this season?
Well, why not? No, hold on. What do you mean? No, what do you mean? Thank you. I mean, saying, why not? Why can't they finish in the Europa League positions?
Okay, if it goes where the league have to cancel or they have to finish the league rate is more likely they're gonna use, you know what, everybody get a point for each game. We're not gonna get Europa League.
Yeah, but if let's go off for the basis that it does complete, right? If it does continue on, we've got every chance of getting into the Europa League places. I mean, we are a big club, right? We may be say to ourselves, well, you know what? It should be bigger. We should be doing more. But we are a big club. You don't agree with that?
Of course, we're a big club. There's no point that we're not a big club. But what Arteta state and what Arteta comment today is nowhere near that. Because at the moment we are not competing for really nothing in the Premier League in Europe. So for we to attract player, okay then, you want to attract player and players supposed to jump to the opportunity to come play for Arsenal if the speculation link them to Arsenal. But you're selling your big name player every season, year in, year out. What are you gonna use to attract say even a Thomas Partey want to come, yeah, and he said, you know, I really want to come to Arsenal. But with other player, what you gonna use? Because every player have to use something to bring them to your club to make them want to play for your club. What at Arsenal are they gonna use?
Yeah, but hold on, right? So no, case in point here, right? You say Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
He wants to come to, you know what I mean? It's been rumored saying that he wants to come to Arsenal. His dad said he wants to come to Arsenal. There's rumours that his friend said he wants to come to Arsenal. So it's still a draw. Maybe we're not operating as we would like to, but it's still a draw. What do you think to that, guys?
I mean, yeah, we are still a draw. I think Partey will possibly want to come to the club, and it's just whether the club can get the deal or not. But I agree with Yardman. I feel like, you know, as much as, you know, we're like a museum. Like you walk in a museum, you see all this history and, you know, the gold Premier League and all that and all the great things we did. But let's be honest, how good are Arsenal Football Club on the pitch? Nothing else matters more than the team that's on the pitch. And our team on the pitch right now is weak. Our best player is out of contract in a year, being linked with moves. If he goes, we're going to struggle to replace him. So for me, I don't believe we are as big a draw as Arteta maybe thinks we are. As much as it hurts me to say that, bro, that's the truth.
Okay, let me do a couple of comments. By the way, Yardman, in the meantime, you really need to try and turn your mic down or something. I think it is your mic. And you, Curtis, you need to turn yours down as well. Both of you need to just turn down any volume that you've got coming out of your things. Just turn that off. You don't need that on, yeah, because that's what's echoing back. Ali Madini says, can't really understand. Oh, it's even worse now. I don't know. Right. I've muted both of their mics now so I can do this. Ali says, can't really understand why we can't tie down Aubameyang. He knows us. He knows that we love. He knows the love that we show him. But the reality is he's not signing. Whose fault is that? So let me get... Oh, the old man's dropped out. Curtis, whose fault is that? I mean, we don't know yet that he's not signing, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think, with his dad's comments, that kind of made me think that he was sort of saying that, Aubameyang maybe does want to stay. Is it the club who are messing around and not making, like, the contract offer that he wants? You've also got to look at it, man. Aubameyang's 31 in June. It's going to be the last major contract of his career. He may be looking at it thinking, you know what, we need to finish the season. Are Arsenal going to be in the Champions League or Europa League? And then I'll take it from there. I don't think Aubameyang is going to be in a rush to put pen to paper, to be honest.
All right. Mr. A says, Robbie, I've seen Mbappe talk about Liverpool, Barcelona, Madrid. I'm starting to think, I think he means he doesn't see us as a big club. But today's stars aren't seeing that. But Partey, as I said, we've heard rumours that he wants to come to Arsenal. Players still get linked to Arsenal all the time and still seem very keen on coming to Arsenal. Sometimes it's us who don't get the deal over the line. But Yardman, there are still a lot of players that are keen to come to Arsenal.
You hear the last comment that guy made, where they're linking thingy to Liverpool or Barcelona. Rob, last year we meant to sign we signed Kieran Tierney from Celtics, and sometimes you have to look at what the way how you operate. Yeah, that's the way how people look at you, the way how you carry yourself, the respect that you show to yourself. That's how people look at you, Rob. Yeah. Now we couldn't get Kieran Tierney over the line for 27 million from Celtics. We have to wait till the last day, the last minute, the last hour to get that deal done.
But we got it done.
Robbie, that's what I'm saying to you. Look how Arsenal carry itself.
Now, hold on. But then I can also say this to you, right?
Yeah.
We also got Nicolas Pepe over the line, which nobody thought that we could pull that off. And Nicolas Pepe could have went to many, many clubs, right? And Nicolas Pepe chose to come to Arsenal.
Robbie.
That's a big deal, isn't it? You're saying Tierney, but what about Nicolas Pepe?
You see this again, I'm gonna burst your bubble. Nicolas Pepe is a play now, pay later. That's the only.
It doesn't matter whether it's pay now. Hold on. It doesn't matter whether it's pay now, pay later, pay in 10 years' time. They got it over the line. Nicolas Pepe, which was one of the most sought-after players in Europe, came to Arsenal. Aubameyang, one of the biggest name strikers in Europe, came to Arsenal. Lacazette, I know he really, he was looking like he was going to go to Atletico first, but he came to Arsenal. So the name Arsenal still attracts the big players. It's a bit different that we can't sometimes get them over the line. But how many players over the years have we heard that, I grew up supporting Arsenal, I loved watching Arsenal when I was a kid? It's still a big name for a lot of these players. You don't think so?
Nobody not saying that. Of course, we're still a big name in Europe, because when you go in Europe, you see a lot of Real Madrid replica top selling, Barcelona, you see Liverpool, and you do see Arsenal. Yeah, and sometimes you barely see Chelsea or the Tottenham, or you see Man U, sorry, and you see, but this is what I'm saying to you. When you go in Europe, Arsenal is still a big name, but it's the attitude of running the club, signing player, attracting big name player, keep them there, winning stuff. That is what player look at.
Okay.
And so,
okay. Kingsley says we have a long history. Why wouldn't a player want to play for us? We talk about mentality and how it needs to improve. Arteta is on the right path. His mentality will leak into the team eventually. And that's the whole point of this, isn't it? I mean, it's great to see Mikel Arteta talking in this way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, what Kingsley's saying there, he's saying we've got a great history. But let's be honest, Rob, how much does history have to do with a player wanting to join a club? I mean, if you're a 21, 22-year-old player now, when you was a kid growing up maybe 8 or 9 years ago, Arsenal had players like Shamak and Bentner on the pitch. So these 20-year-olds didn't see Arsenal when they had Henry, when they had Vieira and them things. So I don't think these modern-day players are as attracted to the whole history proposition as they were back in the day. I think ultimately you need to know how good is that team on the pitch, how good is that manager. So I still think we're in a difficult situation at the moment.
Okay, Joseph says, Robbie, do you think Mikel like Tierney and Saliba, as Emery got them and they haven't played it? I think he's definitely going to give those two a run out. And Andrew says, Robbie, let's get real. Yardman is correct. You talk about Aubameyang and Pepe. Did Arsenal really compete with any clubs for them? If so, Arsenal, no chance. But no, there were clubs that were interested in Pepe, weren't there, Yardman?
Yeah, it was what's they calling? What's the name? Was interested. We believe he was going to go to oh God, what's the club name, man? that Koulibaly is at
Napoli. Yeah.
I believe that he was going to go to Napoli, but
Liverpool were interested in him as well, Pepe.
Yeah, but it wasn't. No, it was definitely sure that Napoli was going to get him, but I believe Napoli wasn't looking to pay the amount that they want at the time, but Arsenal was going to pay. And because of their chance after this, Arsenal were going to structure the deal and pay them the money. They said, you know what, eventually we're going to get the money, so let him go. That's the reason why we get him. But it's true what Joseph said. Can we actually, do you realize that I forgot who speculated whether a player that was supposed to get, and I believe they said Norwich is going to sign us. One of those clubs going to get the player over we. Robbie, it all boils down to how you run your club. We have to go out there. Okay, then why we couldn't link to a Neymar? Why we couldn't link to one of these big name players? Why we couldn't link? Why we can't get Koulibaly? We need a defender. Yeah. Why we can't get a player like that? Why we can't get a player like Aubameyang? Why we can't buy it? And at the chance, we have the opportunity to spend the money to go and get Aubameyang from RB Leipzig. But we say it's too much. Do you see Real Madrid say it's too much? Do you see Barcelona say too much? Do you see Man U say too much? Do you see Atletico? And they don't.
Listen, we've still got some big name players at the club. Let me just do this one. Africa says, do players come to clubs because the club is big versus because the club is offering them big money? And a lot of times nowadays, it's the latter. Players go to clubs because they're offering big money. And I think, I understand where both of you are coming from, because we've been so damaged over the years by, being linked to players and not getting them. However, you also got to look on it and say, well, Upamecano is still at RB Leipzig. There's about 5-6 big clubs chasing him, and he hasn't left to go to any of them yet. So, it does happen like that. You know what I mean? It does happen that sometimes maybe a player thinks that team's not right. But I agree. I like the fact that Arteta is puffing out his chest and saying, Curtis, Arsenal are a big club. And you know what? If you're going to be here whilst I'm here, right? You know, if you want to be at this club, I want you to have that right attitude as well. This is a big club. Whilst I'm here, we're operating like a big club. And if you don't, if I'm telling you to stay at Arsenal, you don't want to stay, then you go. And when I'm buying it, if you don't want to come to a big club like Arsenal, then I don't want you. I like that attitude in a way.
You like it?
I do.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, Rob? I like it, but like anything, you need balance. So on one hand, cool, come out and say this is Arsenal and appreciate what the club is and this, that, the other. But also understand on the other hand, this isn't a successful Arsenal at the moment. So if you are trying to attract players, if you are trying to get Aubameyang to sign a new contract, you're going to have to work a little bit harder to make those things happen, because right now we're not the top spenders. We're not competing even for trophies, you know. So we went out in the last 32 to Olympiacos. We're 9th in the league. We also have to be realistic about where we are at the moment as a club. So I like it that he's puffing out his chest, but don't cut off your nose to spite your face, you know, and let players like Aubameyang walk away when you might have to realise a little bit, you know, we're not the Arsenal we were a long time ago. So it's good, but be careful with it as well.
Do you both think we'll keep Aubameyang? Yardman, will we keep Aubameyang?
Definitely no. Definitely. No. The reason being, Aubameyang is like the same situation with Robin. Robin was our captain, and even though it wasn't, but like a similar, Robin was our captain, and at the time he was on his best goal scoring run, and he was a Premier League highest goal scorer, and we didn't offer him a contract. So the guy look and say like, what's going on here? Okay, I'm going to move. No, you have to look at Aubameyang is 30. This guy need the next thing in his life is the best contract he could get. Arsenal now have to be a big club and show that they got like this thing in them where, okay, then we're going to show people that we're not like we used to be. We're going to give him what he wants, keep him here, because he's a 30 goal a season. How much are you going to pay for a 30 goal a season man now? 80 million? So why don't give him the money? So, and then them said contract is off the table. So what's going to happen?
Well, hold on. All of these things that you're saying, we don't know if that's true. The speculation that some papers have said the contract is off the table, we don't know whether that's true or not. And, you know, I mean, he hasn't come out, his people haven't come out and said the contract is off the table. And even the Van Persie thing, that's Van Persie who said that. We don't even know if that's true, that he was never offered a contract. I said the other day when we had a show where we was talking about him, that I don't trust him, that was the truth. I think he really wanted to leave. I'm not having it, what he was saying there. But 200 grand a week is, you know, I'm not talking about the new contract that he's going to get offered, yeah? But 200 grand a week, that's big wages. Not a lot of clubs pay that, you know? £180,000 a week for Lacazette. £180,000 a week for Mkhitaryan. Not many clubs pay that sort of money, you know, Yardman.
But Rob,
that's big club wages.
Yeah, but if you want to keep a big, like I said, the only reason why you have to give Aubameyang what he want is because we know, the world know that we're going to get 25, 30 goals from him. That's priceless. No,
but what I'm saying is, this is the point I'm trying to make, right? We pay big club wages. It's just, all right, we've got a lot of players that don't deserve those wages at the moment, and a lot of mistakes have been made. But if you're a player and you're coming to Arsenal, you're getting big. If you're a top player, you're getting big wages. Nicolas Pepe is on £180,000 a week. Kolasinac is on 100,000 a week. Bellerin's on 110,000 a week. Not many clubs pay that. Atletico don't pay that sort of money. So, you know, we do. And we've got, like, I saw somebody, I was trying to find his comment. He said we've got one of the best stadiums in the world, right? We are a massive brand. I remember when we went, you know, every time I go on those tours, pre-season tours with Arsenal, you see the size of this club all around the world. When we was in America last year, the amount of Arsenal fans, everywhere we went, the Arsenal fans outnumbered whoever we were playing in the game. I remember when we was over in Singapore and we played PSG, and we went to, they had like a warm-up session, right, where fans were allowed in to watch, yeah? And there must have been about 10,000 fans there watching this warm-up session, right, practice. And Arsenal were training. Then Arsenal finished training. Then PSG came out and everybody left. We're a huge club. We've got a massive fan base around the world. So I like the fact that Arteta is saying to himself now, he's restoring that. He's trying to restore that attitude that this is a big club. We pay big wages. We have a big stadium. We've got a massive support. Which other team? Very few teams get the support that we get week in, week out. So he's trying to instill the attitude in these players that, because when are some of these players going to step up and take responsibility? It's all right for us to say, yeah, buy this, buy that. And it's all right for players who are there to say, oh, you know what? I'm thinking to leave, man, because I want to win a trophy. Why not stay there? Stay at Arsenal and try and make us win a trophy. Why not you be the catalyst to push us on to do that? You can answer.
Yeah, but Robbie, I thought Curtis was going to answer. But Robbie, we have to look at, yeah, what you just stated, yeah, I don't understand. You need a big house, Robbie. I need a mansion. But you're going to buy the material that you're going to buy. You're not buying the right cement. You're not going to buy the right block. You're not buying the right insulation. You're not buying the right stuff. You go for the cheap stuff. But you want your house to look good. That is Arsenal. Before go ahead, you state that Arsenal pay big money to these players. Do you know why? Yeah, but hold on. Why? Why? Because Arsenal is not offering them anything, any trophy, so they have to pay them big wages. That's the only reason. You have to give something. Have to give. If you was winning trophy, okay. If you was winning trophy like a Real Madrid or Barcelona, players want to come to you. Players will take the club to play for you because they know, at the end of the day, we're gonna win trophy. But Arsenal is not winning, and most of these players, remember, they are playing. But when they hang up their boots, whatever money they have, they're gonna go on to other things. But what they're gonna look back in their trophy cabinet is what they win.
All right, let me.
Is one of them.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Curtis this, then I'll ask you. Yeah. So Curtis, right?
Yo.
Obviously, we know you're a baller. We see you playing for AFTV FC. You used to play football. You used to play for. Who used to play for? You was at Notts County, weren't you?
Mansfield as well.
Mansfield, right?
Yeah.
You're at Mansfield now, yeah.
Yeah.
You've been playing really well. You've been, banging in the goals and that. No, the scouts turn up saying, "Boy, who that? That guy's looking good, man." There's a scout there from Leicester, Wolves, and Arsenal. Take away the fact that you're an Arsenal fan now. Those three scouts are there. All three of them want you. Which club are you joining?
Well, Robbie, obviously I'm going Arsenal. But listen, let me just say one thing.
All right, you've answered that. One sec. Let me ask the same question to Yardman. Yeah? Let me ask the same question to Yardman. Yeah? Yardman, you're over there.
Yeah.
You're playing for Arnett Gardens, or Tivoli Garden, Buckfield Avenue FC, Walton Park, United, whichever team, right? You're over there, right? Arnett? All right, you're playing for Arnett Gardens, right? And you're kicking up the place now, right? Arsenal coming for you, yeah?
Yeah.
Same again, Leicester, Wolves, Norwich, you just said. Those four, let me fling our next team in there. Southampton. Those teams coming to you. Where are you going?
Robbie, you think you're smart.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Norwich.
That's still a name, boss. It's still. It's still a name, right? Whether I know, listen, so that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, right? I hear you on the spending thing, but that name Arsenal is still a huge name around the world. When a man comes to you and he says Arsenal, you're like, what? Wow, man, Arsenal? Yeah,
Robbie, let me respond to you though. Look at the teams you compared us to, bro. Innit? You didn't say Man City, Man United.
All right, but Leicester and Wolves are above us right now. Yeah. Both of those teams are above us. Both of those teams are doing way better than us, right? Both of those teams, you look on it, you know, remember, a guy just pointed it out there, it was his comment just whizzed past. As this guy pointed out, Damien, he said Leicester have won the league more recently than Arsenal. Leicester are a very well-run club. They've got you know, Brendan Rodgers in charge. They're playing great football, but you would still come to Arsenal.
Yeah, no, you would, Rob. But the point is, if we're a big club, we should not be comparing ourselves to Wolves and Leicester and Norwich. If you reverse that question and I say to you, Robbie, if you're playing football now and 4 scouts come for you and it's Man City, Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal, what team are you going to? Yeah, I don't think you're going to say Arsenal, bro.
Slightly unfair because obviously Liverpool are running away and winning the league, right? So they're running away and they're going to win the league. But if you said to me then, what? So you're now saying Man United,
Man City,
it's a bit different with Man City. You'd have to take for me out of it now, Man City and Liverpool, because if you came to me as a player, I'm looking at it and thinking, if I go to one of those two, with the amount of money they spend and stuff like that, they're guaranteed every year to be challenging for the league. Yeah, so those two kind of stand alone. And even then, I'd be thinking to myself, don't know about Arsenal, man. Big club. Liverpool, big club, obviously. City, they win a lot of things, but I like the history of Arsenal, man. I wouldn't mind going there, you know, walking in the shoes of Thierry Henry and Bergkamp and people like that. So if you're saying to me now, where would I go? Would I go to Man United? Would I go to Arsenal? And what was the other team you said? Chelsea, maybe.
City. Yeah, Chelsea, maybe.
Chelsea. I might be looking at it and I'm saying, well, let me have a think about that. Because there's not a lot of difference between those three at the moment.
Boy,
oh man, you're looking at me like I've gone mad. Why are you looking at me like I've gone mad?
Yeah, Rob, come on. You hear what you said? You said that you like the history, but you're gonna go at that club, but you're not gonna produce no history. They already have the history. You cannot state that a club like Arden. First thing first, remember 5 years ago, Liverpool used to finish out 7th, 8th, not even the European League spot. And Liverpool decided that enough is enough. We're going to structure this team and invest in this team. The same as we're not going to put Man City because the sheer money does do the talking for them. But Liverpool, for one, they were finishing behind Arsenal season after season, some season. Yeah, and row. So even Tottenham, look at Tottenham now. They even though they're not spending, but you can see where they're changing their mentality. If you take Daniel...
That's what Arteta's trying to do. What he's saying, he's trying to change the mentality of the team to say that, yo, what's it? I can almost imagine him when he walked into that Arsenal dressing room for the first time. Because he also spoke about that, actually. Let me just find that quote. But he also spoke about that, Arteta, which was really interesting. He said... I lost it here now. He said that when he first got to Arsenal, the energy at the club wasn't right under Unai Emery. That's what he said. And he said the biggest challenge when he took over was to repair the relationship between the players, management and supporters. So you had a lot of players in that dressing room feeling sorry for themselves. Oh, it's not going well. Oh, we're not doing great. But he's coming in now and he's saying, yo, you lot are playing for Arsenal, you know. Do you know who you're playing for? You're playing for Arsenal Football Club. Switch up that negative energy, that negative mentality, right? We should be going toe-to-toe with all the rest of the big teams then, because we are a big team. And if you ain't got that attitude, I can imagine that's what he's saying. If you ain't got that attitude, you're going to go. I want man, the Scot, and he's reiterating it in that statement that he's making. Let me do this comment quickly. He says, Robbie, look who you're comparing Arsenal to. Why not compare Arsenal to Man City and Liverpool? Arsenal is not a big club anymore. You're comparing us to Wolves, a team that got promoted last season. Get real. But I'm comparing it because, you know, everybody's saying, oh, look what this one's done, look what that one's done. I do have to compare it to some of those teams, right? But I'm saying that he's saying to these guys, come on, now I want to see an attitude change from you guys. It's not just a matter of spending huge amounts of money, because you spoke about Liverpool, Yardman. Liverpool, it was a process that started with Klopp came in and he started to, you know, get rid of certain players, keep the players that had the right mentality until they've got to this stage. They were in a mess, Liverpool, worse than us. So it starts with a change of attitude, and that's why I like it. What do you think, Curtis?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Rob. And I like Arteta's attitude. The problem is, as Arsenal fans, we're fed up now. We've been hearing this for years. We heard Raul come out and say, when Arsenal knock, the knock's different and all this, that, the other. And let's be honest, things haven't changed. Things have got worse. We brought in Emery. We finished 5th. We didn't win anything. Now we're 9th. We don't look like we're going to win anything this season. So it's time. Like, talk is cheap. Check out the show this week, by the way. No, but listen, we as fans, we need the talking to stop now. What I want to hear Arteta say is, we want to keep Aubameyang. We're doing everything we can to keep Aubameyang. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear him say, we want to compete with Liverpool and Manchester City again, even though it will take time. They're the kind of conversations I want to hear. Him saying, you know, if you don't want to be here, leave. That isn't enough for me, because sometimes that makes people walk out the door with no viable replacement.
That's step number one. If you don't want to be here, this is a big club. Now that I'm here, I'm telling you lot, Arsenal are a big club. If you don't want to be here, if you don't feel it's a big club, if you don't feel it matches what you, then go. And I'll get someone else in. I like that. Let's get through a few comments here. There are loads of comments coming in. This one said he's obviously not an Arsenal fan. He said, you used to be a big club. Now you're not a big club at all. I disagree. Steve says, currently Arsenal is like Yardman's mic. Weak. John says, players play for teams that they don't support or hate all the time. Rio Ferdinand once said he used to hate Man United when he played for Leeds. Neil Gunner says, Arsenal claim they run well, but there's no structure, but Arsenal are starting to find a structure. Very good point. They are. It has been run badly. We are starting to find a structure. Nye says, I'm 15. I love Arsenal. I get battered for it, especially when we lost to Brighton. And I live there, but I don't care. So people will always know the history. It doesn't necessarily if we don't get in the Champions League. We've got a rich history. We can't get away from that, and it's still a brand that people want to associate with. Sly says Arsenal is a Europa League team at best at the moment. Yes, but that doesn't mean that, you know, just what Liverpool done, which you guys have cited, that it can't return to where it should be. You know. Don Dapper says Arsenal sadly has become a stepping stone for certain players. I agree with Robbie. The mentality needs to change, but that needs to start from the top. What about? Let me get you on this first, Yardman. Lacazette. Lacazette's been linked with moves away. There was the rumor linking him with a swap deal to Atletico Madrid. There was rumours that he's been speaking to Griezmann and things like that to find out what it's like at Atletico. But he came out today, or yesterday, should I say, and he shut down those rumours by saying that he put lying emojis, basically saying that it's all a lie, that these rumours are not true. Do we keep, for you, are you happy to keep Lacazette, Yardman?
Most definitely. Like I said, we know what Lacazette can do this season, year before, 2018-19 season. We know what him can do. we cannot get up on selling these players because we have to have somebody there to attract people. And is when Arteta come out and making the statement, and he said that if player doesn't want to stay, have the right mentality, is Arsenal, the football club, the right mentality in the first place? Because from Wenger was there, and we call it for Wenger, and we know that we want defender. We know that we want a proper, no-nonsense centre-off. Yeah? Liverpool realize that they need centre-off, and they go there and at the moment, they go there and buy Virgil van Dijk was the world most expensive centre-off. At the time, they get him. Money wasn't the issue. Because Liverpool making a statement to the fans and to the players them in the club. Okay? Now, we got out there, we realized that we're leaking goal this year, and we go out there, we get Suarez. He's injured. Yeah? We go out there, we get Mari. He wasn't even fit. And yeah, we didn't address our problem. And the problem
but they had the money. They had the money to do that. Again, Yardman, you have to Liverpool run the club in a similar way to Arsenal do, yeah? However, right, and a lot of this is due to the old regime, right? Remember how they bought Van Dijk and how they bought Alisson, right? It wasn't that the owners put their hands in their own pocket and bought those players. No. They had assets. They were able to sell Coutinho, and they used that money from Coutinho to buy Alisson and Van Dijk. Now, the problem that Arsenal have had is they haven't had any assets. I mean, somebody like Aaron Ramsey, who under the previous regime, and I said, you can't blame these guys that are here for this, was allowed his contract to run down, walked away from Arsenal Football Club for nothing. We didn't get 1 pence for Aaron Ramsey, who we should have been looking at getting at least. When you see some of the money being quoted for players at the moment who've got no name, Aaron Ramsey, a player played at Arsenal, won 3 FA Cups, did brilliantly in the Euros that time for Wales. He should have been, we should have been getting like 40, 50 million for him, but we got nothing. And then there was other players that we got next to nothing for. They had assets that they sold. When they sold Luis Suarez, they got a load of money for him. They were able to go buy Mane, then to get Salah. So this is the difference, right? We've not had the assets because of how things have been poorly run in the past. We need to, and then now, equal to that, that's made things even worse now, is that we're not in the Champions League. So we haven't got that money coming in. So under the current model, which is the same sort of model as what Liverpool run their club, right, which is a self-sufficient way, under that current model, we've got problems, because we can't spend, unless the owner puts his hand into his pocket, we can't spend those big money to go and get a Van Dijk. So we have to get a Mari in on a loan, because that's all we can afford.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Robbie. What you have to look at, yeah? If you have money, the only way you can get asset is that you buy it. Okay? Now, if we go out there, when Juventus signed Ronaldo, yeah, Juventus social media fans, they earn 40% more. Ronaldo tap them alone, Juventus get back half of their money within a season. You tell me, if you go out there and buy Mbappe today at Arsenal, so we spend 150 million on Mbappe, and we pay Mbappe 300,000 a week, yeah? Mbappe tap alone for the 5-year or the 4-year contract we give him, we're going to get back the money that we use and buy him, because that is a big name player.
Yeah, but where are you going to get the money? You've got to get the 150 million in the first place to buy him. We're not even in the Champions League.
Hold on, Robbie. Hold on. So, Kroenke is the Kroenke is a billionaire. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay then. You answer my question. You answer your question of where the money going to come from. You have a billionaire owner. Are you going to tell me that a billionaire can't dip in his pocket and give you 200 million? For me, to this transfer window, at least, don't tell me nothing about coronavirus. Don't tell me nothing about the club don't make the money. The minimum the Kroenke is supposed to put in his pocket and show us, put out a statement is 200 million, because we don't have anybody apart from Lacazette and Aubameyang, where we could get back maybe a 90 to 100 million if we sell both of them. The maximum. You look at Dartman. Dartman have one player who value more than Abba and Lacazette. Yeah.
Assets.
Thank
Assets.
you. They go out there and
let me throw this back at you, right? Dortmund haven't spent 200 million or 150 million on any player. They never do. But they buy intelligently in the transfer market, and they have assets. So if they sell Haaland now, they'll get 200, 250 million for him. Then they'll be able to go and get other players. The problem Arsenal have had over the years, which we are paying the price for right now, because remember, Dortmund, their owners don't put 200 million in. You know what I mean? You don't see Dortmund go out there and say, right, here's 100 million, go and buy. They don't do that. But they buy smart. And they have, when they do sell players, they make money. We've been seeing our best players either go for nothing or next to nothing. Alexis Sanchez, next to nothing. Ramsey, nothing. It's been going on for years. And now we are paying the price. And Arteta's here, and he's having to, that's the first thing he's having to address, him and this new team. But first of all, he's like, I need to get the attitude right with the guys that are here. Let me do a few of these super chats because loads of them are coming in. Big AFTV. Also, he's a project right now. Arteta has started off great by dealing with the player mentality. He now needs to start building a winning team. Come on, you Gunners. Very, very true. Let me find that super chat. Sorry, guys. Let me just whiz through these. I'll get cussed off if I don't read these out. Oh, where did the other one disappear to? By the way, thank you for all the comments that are coming in. It's brilliant today. David Orchard says, hi, Robbie. Love from the Isle of Wight. If we do sell our best players to Chelsea and co, again, our fan base will go down because people will really get fed up. Well, that's another. Actually, I'll ask you like that. I mean, because that's another thing with me. That's what has to change as well when I talk about mentality. And Schlee says there is no winning mentality at Arsenal. Only I want a big wage mentality. Arsenal only spend big on FIFA, right? Makes a good point there. That's let me put this one to Curtis, right? That as well. With the Aubameyang thing, would you sell him if he's insisting on going? Would you sell him to Chelsea?
Do you know what? Me, I wouldn't. No, because I just think, what kind of message does that send to world football again? It's bigger than just, losing the player because, you can go and buy another player, but selling him to a rival, we're back to the Robin Van Persie times that happened. My issue with the whole situation in general, Rob, is you talk about the old regime, and I get that. Gazidis and them messed up on Alexis and all these things. But Raul, when he came in, him and Edu did that interview where they said any major player with 2 years left either extends his contract or we move him on. Now, they came in when Ramsey had a year left on his deal. They could have offered him a contract or said, we've got to sell you now. They allowed him to sit there for a year and leave. You've then allowed Aubameyang to get down to 1 year left on his deal.
Well, it's not 1 year yet. It's not 1 year yet.
We're in such a weak position, Rob, because you look at Liverpool, who I think we were a similar club to. They had Coutinho tied down for 4 years. So when Barcelona wanted him, they said, what? You want to take him off us? You're going to have to spend 100, 120 million for him. Where Aubameyang now, he's anyone's for the taking. Let's be realistic. If Aubameyang says he wants to go, Arsenal will probably sell him. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, but would you sell him to Chelsea? Do you think they'd sell him to Chelsea?
I wouldn't sell him to Chelsea, but I believe Arsenal would sell him to Chelsea, and that's the worrying thing. I think they would.
Okay. Trent Singh says, Robbie, do you trust the owners to give us all the money from an Aubameyang sale, like Liverpool did with Coutinho, etc.? Do you trust them, Yardman?
That's the problem. We always sell our player and we get whoever we sell and get money, but that money doesn't inject back in the club. And that's the problem. Remember, Liverpool sell 4 players, I believe it was 4 players, and they get 209 million. And they go out there and spend back 120. with Van Dijk and Alisson. They get back the money to spend. So how could we go? It just doesn't work. How can we go and sell? Because we have no faith in that. Sell Abba or Lacazette and use back the money. We don't think it's gonna work because it's not like that. Okay, they're gonna say to Arteta, if we sell Abba because his contract is running out, and if we wait until January, he's gonna sign for free. So we're gonna sell him now, but we're gonna give you an extra 30 on the money that you get, so you can buy up. You know, Robbie, that is not possible. So for me, I would let him just stay this year, because at the end of the day, the money gonna go to the Kroenke, we're not gonna see it. So let him stay.
Okay. Dr. Viraj says, Robbie, currently the mentality at the club is too fickle. Arteta alone can't change the mentality of the club. The owners need to do their part as well. As we know, the Kroenke's in charge. It won't. That's a great point, because it's not just about the players changing their mentality. It is about the Kroenke's changing their mentality as well. Lucas says, I think what you're seeing at Arsenal is the growing pains of new American owners. Well, they're not new. They've been in for a long time. You'll see more player swaps over cash buys. PS, love Yardman's accent and passion. Big up the Yardman, right? And Neil Gunner says, if we don't have the money, we need to scout better. We can't miss out on the next Ronaldo or Xavi Alonso. No place to sulk. We have to do something. I mean, we might have to. We're going to have to change the model, aren't we? Which is like we have to do like what Dortmund do. Go out there, buy the best up-and-coming player, keep hold of them, and then, you know, if we sell them, because at the moment, the owners have been there now for a long time. They're not going to put their hand in their own pocket and spend, are they? I mean, let's be real, Curtis. They're not, are they? They're not going to do that. So we have to rely on either we got to get into that Champions League, which then I think then it'd be ridiculous to sell Aubameyang, because if you sell Aubameyang, we ain't going to get into there. And secondly, we have to rely on trying to bring through some of the young players, and we have to keep hold of them. And when we do sell them, we've got to make loads of money on them to bring in the next guys, because without that Champions League money and without the owners putting any money in, we're going to suffer.
I mean, one thing I want to say, Robbie, the problem with Arsenal now, we were getting fourth in the league year after year. And the problem was Arsenal should have been shooting for the title. But what they did, they settled for just qualifying for the Champions League. They never made that push to try and win the title. And then what happened? We slipped out of the top four. And now all of a sudden, we're trying to get back in the top four, but we're slipping further and further away. And that last comment was a great point, that it's all right Arteta coming out and puffing his chest and saying, yeah, this is Arsenal. But if the board and the owners are not backing that, Arteta can say anything in the world. It isn't going to change what is happening on the pitch. And for me, the fans have to go against the mentality of the board. And because I think a lot of fans, their ambition has fallen with the club over the years. We shouldn't be accepting that, because these owners shouldn't be getting away with what they're doing at this club. And to me, that's the biggest problem. Until the owners change and leave, or they change their attitude, we're going to struggle to ever win the title again. And I think the fans have to change their attitude towards the way the club is treating us as fans and the players.
Okay, Christian Jerome says, big up from Trinidad. Thanks for the hard work. Certain players must stay, but financial impact of his pandemic will be enormous. And Kroenke is a creature of habit. New LA Stadium estimates $4+ billion. That's true. I wonder if that might force him to say, boy, you know what? You know, I might have to bail out of this, you know. Maybe. Berserk says, Kroenke gave Arsenal plenty of money, 442 million to spend on players in the last 5 seasons. The problem is what it was spent on. What do you say about that, Yardman?
Rob, that money that they're talking about, that money for 5 seasons, 400 million, 5 seasons.
A lot of money.
Kroenke never give 400 million last season. That's player that will sell. How many season in, season out where we hear that we have to sell to buy? We have to sell to buy. Where's that money? I don't know where that 442 million gone, because it wasn't spent at Arsenal for sure. Our mud is that you're looking at Dortmund and saying Dortmund buy smart, young player and breed them and sell them. Dortmund is in a league where it's about 2-3 of them in that league. We're in a league now. We're fighting for top 8. It's soon to be, because Newcastle coming in, so it's not going to be a top 4 anymore. It's not a top 4, yeah. So it's going to be a top 8. So we cannot look to go and buy young player to breed them, to sell them, because that's what Dortmund do.
No, but you got to buy smart. Look at what this guy says, Mike Dennis, right? This is the... If you ever need an example, when you're comparing Liverpool with Arsenal, right? 2 teams that run in that self-sufficient model. Mike Dennis breaks it down here. Liverpool sold Benteke for 35 million. Jordan Ibe for 20 million. And we let Sanchez and Ramsey leave for free.
Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's not always about the millions and gazillions that you spend. It's about how you are running your football club. And then, you know, the football club has been run so badly, particularly over the last 5 years or so, when it comes to transfers. It's horrific. And that's what they're trying to fix. And this is what the problem is. George Chapman says, Yardman is right. We haven't seen that money every season. We have no money. There's somebody backing you there, Yardman. D-Boy says Arteta is right in what he's saying, but he should be directing that message at the board, Curtis.
Agreed. Because, look, if the board don't change their attitude, then the club can't move forward. As you're saying there, I mean, when that guy was saying there about Jordan Ibe and Benteke, man, it's an eye-opener. But the thing is, it's crazy, isn't it? When you was talking about the assets of Liverpool, Rob, we had the assets. Alexis Sanchez was £100 million player if Coutinho is worth 100 million. We had Danny Welbeck, he went for free. We could have got 15, 20 million for him. Ramsey, we could have got 40 million. That's well over 100 million that could have been reinvested in the team. You know, we could have bought Kante, we bought Xhaka, you know. So, you know, these are the decisions that the club have made, and now it's coming to bite them back.
Yeah. Glenn Cook says, I think people need to relax. We made smart buys in January, and Arteta knows what the team needs. Imagine the new regime using funds Kazid is wasted. But now they are correcting the mess that he made, Yardman.
What we did January? What by who?
Well, we didn't buy anyone. We did loan, marry.
Okay. How much you pay for Suarez? Is it I think a million plus?
Dennis Suarez.
Yeah, he's injured. Up until now he doesn't play. So how is that January deal?
You're on about Cedric. Cedric, you're on about Cedric.
Sorry, Cedric. He doesn't play yet. And I think, if I'm not lying, I think we'll pay like $1 million for him a month, something like that. $500,000 a month. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Sorry,
I'll cut you off there.
Go on.
All right. Obby Z says, Robbie, I feel very upset when I see our darling club in such a mess, which is down to the Kroenke's pragmatic approach. He needs to relinquish the ownership of the club and let some serious people take over Arsenal. It cannot be short of suitors. A genuine title contender cannot think of selling the type of qualities that Aubameyang and Lacazette possess. Henceforth, we, the fans, should be booing Kroenke and his board after the pandemic period. I mean, that's the one thing where I agree strongly with you guys, is that year in, year out, we sell our best players. And we don't even get enough money for them. That's the worst thing about it. When we sell them, it'd be different. When Coutinho got sold at Liverpool, there were fans upset because he was a great player. But when they saw the money they were getting for him, they were like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, if they're going to pay that sort of money for him, boy, you know what I mean? As long as they spend that money well, I'm cool with that. I think that's part of the problem at Arsenal is that when you see players walking away for the fees, you're like, yeah, what's going on? What is going on when you see these players, walking away for nothing? It's ridiculous, Yardman.
But because we don't invest in the type of player that tell me when last you see, I keep on have to state calling this club because they set the benchmark. When last you see Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man U, or Bayern Munich sell a player for less than 20 million? Which player do you know leave that club for less for 20 million? Say, put it that way. Name me. Unless they're coming out of the youth team where under 16 where they will sell them on for that sort of money. But this club doesn't sell player for them because they will buy player which they know 2-3 years time they can either sell them for more or what they bought them for. Arsenal go out there and buy. You cannot keep on buying 12 million pounds, 10 million, 8 million, 4 million. I expect 3-4 years you're going to get 20, 30. It doesn't work like that. In football today, it doesn't work like that. You have to invest, and this is why I said invest. You have to invest smart in player which who are going to bring back an income. Of course, we can sell player. Of course, every club sell the good player, but we are selling our best for little and nothing.
That's right.
Why Abba reach? What? Okay, we cost Wenger and said player running in their contract. Wenger left. Why Abba contract? Why Abba is at 1 year now? Why we never put Abba in contract talk from a year and a half ago? So we know that okay, he's got 2.5 years left. So we know exactly where he stay. That is what you're supposed to do as a club. So Mikel Arteta not going to tell me anything that is new until the Kroenke, until the director of football. All of them decided it have nothing to do with Mikel Arteta. Because whatever I'm saying now is not going to make any difference. We hear it all before. We hear it on the news, we hear it on AFTV, we hear from everybody. So what Mikel saying to me is nothing new. But when Kroenke come out and state that, listen, we're going to be the club that's going to challenge. We're going to challenge not the Man City, not the Chelsea, not Man U at the moment. We're going to challenge Liverpool for the title because they're the one that have to challenge for. Then we can come out and say, okay. And then when he say, him put him on in his pocket because that's what you have to do, Robbie. If you're going to be a farmer, you have to put it on your pocket and buy the plant them and water them, nourish them. And when them come up beautiful, you sell them for big money. Kroenke, invest in the club because that's what a football club you have to invest. There's no way this day and age we're talking. We're not talking about 10, 12 years ago. 2020, you have to put money in your club. That's the only way you're going to get back out money. Because if you buy a player, that player going to bring up the social media. That player going to sell. That player going to, when they take them on preseason, that player going to attract other sponsor. That's the way you get. Ryan Sterling, Reebok looking to offer him 100 million. Do you believe that Man City going to get something out of it? So this is what you have to do. You have to invest. And if the Kroenke doesn't invest, it doesn't matter what me, you, Arteta, and Jesus Christ say, the club going to still remain the same. We are not a club that's going to push for anything anytime soon. Okay.
I'm going to do a couple more. Time's running out or something here. Marvel Halls TV says, Raul think we are stupid. He said, saying when Arsenal knocks, it's a different knock. When Arsenal knocks, it is a different knock, though. Come on, guys. If Arsenal knocked on your door, you would, as any player, you're going to consider it. Come on.
No, when Arsenal knock is a different knock. Because Arsenal knock with 12 million and 20 million. 15 million. That's the knock they knock with.
But regardless of the money, Arsenal is a big name, is still an attraction to certain players.
To certain players from what? We can't get Robbie. It like I said, all boil down to okay then. We link with Thomas Partey, and I'm guarantee you that when the transfer window open up for however long they open it up for, we're gonna if we sign that player, if we sign him, we're gonna sign him on the last day, the last minute, and the last hour. That's
right. Let me just ask you, going back to the original question, Curtis. as that guy just said, when Arsenal knock, is that still, for a player, is that still an important club for them to want to go to?
You know, Rob, I think players are ignoring the door now when we knock. You know, I'm telling you, man. I don't.
Still a big club, man.
No, Rob, come on. Obviously, we're a big club, man, but you have to be realistic as well, man. What is happening on the pitch has a huge effect. Can we go out there now and say, give me an Mbappe or give me a Royce or can we go and get these top players? The reality is now, the two top teams in England, Liverpool and Man City, have spent big money. PSG win the French league, the biggest spenders. Juventus, biggest in Italy. Madrid and Barcelona in Spain. Bayern Munich in Germany. The teams at the top of those leagues are preferably the biggest spenders in those leagues. Liverpool aren't the top spenders, but they've got a £70 million goalkeeper, 75 million centre back. We are not the same knock that we were 10 or 15 years ago. That's the best way for me to put it. We're a big club, we're an important club, but we're not the same club we was.
And I'm going to give the final word to you, Yardman. How do we get it back so when that door knocks, as soon as that bell rings on the door, the player comes running up and says, yo, with a paper there, I just want to sign. Come, man, give me that. Ready. Yes. I'm fine. How do we get back to that?
First thing first, we have to, it's not going to happen, but we have to get rid of the Kroenke, for one. And then mentality will change. We'll get a different owner, which when we knock, we don't knock with gravel, we knock with big rock. Meaning that we knock with money. So when we knock on the door, when we knock and say, you know what, we want Jordan, we want Sancho from Ireland, from Dortmund, and we're gonna go to Dortmund, we're gonna knock on their door, some big knock, where we knock down with 200 million. They can't say no. And this is how you build your club. At the end of the day, you have to build your club today with money. And then you can sit down for maybe a year or two and watch your club grow. But for now, you have to knock with money. And that's the only way Arsenal are going to make a different knock.
This is the final question from this guy. He says, Robbie, in this day and age, if Arsenal and Chelsea came, I think he's saying if they came to, let's just say what he's saying, they come and they knock on your door. And bear in mind, you want to win trophies and forget that you support Arsenal. I'm putting this to you two. Which club would you choose?
For me, I'm still. Do you know what? I think that's the wrong club to compare us to, because I don't think Chelsea are anything special. So me, I would go Arsenal ahead of Chelsea.
Yardman?
Well, I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna just for 1 second I'm gonna try to lock my mind off not being an Arsenal supporter. Even though it's hard, but I have to go Chelsea because for one, they will win stuff, and this is why everybody play are supposed to win, regardless of the fact how much money they're gonna get. They're gonna win. Your talent alone will not take you anywhere. So don't believe that your talent will take you and make you. No, you have to work. You have to work on that talent. Yeah, I have to have that mentality, that winning mentality, and Chelsea have it. Arsenal don't have a winning mentality, so. For not being an Arsenal supporter, not pertaining to Arsenal, the two of them come, I would have to go Chelsea because that's the club.
Okay, well, let's hope Aubameyang's not thinking like how you're thinking at the moment. Well, thank you both. Thank you both for being on today. You've both been brilliant. Thank you very much. Apologies for the slight issues we've had with the microphones today. I don't know which one of you to blame it on, but I'll find one of you. It's not my fault, but I'll find one of you to blame it on. But it was still brilliant anyway. Thank you very much for coming on. Yardman, your first time on as well. You were brilliant. So thank you very much. And thank you very much to you guys. We'll be back in the morning, of course, with the early edition. So make sure you check it out. And also the All Guns Blazing podcast, that is out right now as well. So make sure you check that out as well. We'll be back in the morning.